Hi, my name is Andy and I'm the dietetic student, and I've just come to talk to you today about the new diet that you'll need to be following now that you've been diagnosed with CKD. So with CKD, your kidneys are not functioning properly and are therefore not expelling certain things that it normally would through your urine. So with this new diet, you're going to need to limit your fluid, your sodium, your phosphorus, your potassium, and your protein. So let's just start with the sodium, since I did notice that you were having some fluid retention and some swelling, and that could just be due to the fact that you are eating a high salt diet. So a good rule of thumb is to limit your sodium to 140 milligrams a serving. So when you go to the store, you want to be checking your food labels, whether it's you or a family member that does the shopping. You always want to be looking at your food label now, which is always on the back of your product. And you want to be looking for the sodium content to say 140 milligrams or less. But you also need to take into account how many servings you're going to be consuming when you eat the product. So if the serving size on the label says half a cup and you're eating a cup, then you need to double that milligram of sodium content. Another thing is you want to make sure that you're consuming fresh fruits and vegetables. That means any product that's in your fresh produce section, as well as frozen, as long as it doesn't have any added sauces or creams. Those are usually going to be low in salt. You just really need to watch your canned products. Salt is added to canned products as a preservative, and therefore most canned products have a lot of salt. But again, if you're checking that food label for 140 milligrams or less, then it's a low salt product. You can also be looking for low sodium or very low sodium on the label. You also want to be eating fresh meats and avoiding processed meats. So processed meats are things like sandwich meat, bacon, sausage, hot dogs. Those things are going to be high in salt, so you want to avoid those. And you want to be consuming lean, fresh meat. You also want to make sure that you are not adding salt when you're cooking these products or to your plate when you sit down to eat. You are allowed 1 teaspoon of salt a day, and that's going to come naturally in the foods that you're already consuming without you adding any salt. So you don't want to add anything, or that might put you over the limit of how much salt you need in a day and then cause that fluid retention and that swelling. If you're wanting or trying to add seasonings and flavor to your food, you can always try like dried herbs, or you can try a salt-free substitute seasoning, but you want to make sure that it has little to no phosphorus content. Which brings me to the next topic of limiting your phosphorus. Again, since your kidneys cannot filter out properly, you're going to have too much phosphorus in your blood if you're consuming high phosphorus products. High phosphorus comes in a lot of products that we don't even realize. It comes in milk or any dairy product, milk product. It's coming in your peas, your nuts, your beans, your beer, and your chocolate, those things that we like to indulge in, but you just want to make sure to limit those and avoid consuming them if possible. A good low phosphorus food would be like almond milk. You can have unsalted crackers, bagel, French bread. Frozen non-dairy desserts or products are usually low phosphorus, and you just want to make sure that you're watching that and trying to avoid high phosphorus foods. You also want to make sure with this new diet that you're limiting your potassium. Potassium comes in a lot of foods, again, that we don't realize have it, and that's like beans, bananas, cooked spinach, kiwis, orange juice, oranges, potatoes, sweet potatoes, and tomatoes. So you want to avoid those foods if possible and try an alternative or a low phosphorus food like apple juice, apples, blueberries, broccoli, canned fruits, carrots, raspberries, strawberries, pineapples, lettuce. Things like that are low phosphorus and are safe to consume. And you'll be getting handouts with all this information, so you can take it to the grocery store and you can see your items that are high or low in these certain items. You also want to make sure that you're limiting your protein. When you have CKD and you're not on dialysis, you want to limit your protein to keep from damaging your kidneys further. So you still want to consume protein, but you don't want to consume too much. So you want to try to limit your protein down and choose fresh, unsalted, and unprocessed sources of protein. So again, your processed meats and processed things are not going to be good for this. You want to try healthy versions of your protein, like lean meat, fish, skinless chicken, eggs or egg whites, lean pork or shellfish, beans or peas, and those things would be low in protein. So again, you just want to make sure that you're watching a lot of what you eat. You want to limit your fluid and your sodium so that you don't have that swelling or fluid retention. And you want to limit your sodium to 140 milligrams or less. So just check that label for that. That means it's a low sodium product. You want to be limiting your phosphorus by choosing alternatives that have low phosphorus, as well as limiting your protein by choosing products that have lower potassium products that have lower potassium content. You also want to limit your protein, but you still want to get a good intake. So just make sure that you are choosing healthier products of protein and less processed foods. And do you have any questions? If you do have any questions, I'm always here, and you can always call or tell your nurse to contact the dietitian, and we can come back to speak to you with any questions and answer anything that you need. Thank you.